From a struggling theater kid in New York to the face of one of the biggest film franchises in history, Vin Diesel's journey is not just about fame. It's about loyalty, loss, and legacy. Rejected, underestimated, and nearly invisible in Hollywood, he built his empire from scratch and turned family into a global movement. This is the powerful story of Vin Diesel, the man who drove his way from nothing to everything. Vin Diesel, born Mark Sinclair on July 18, 1967, in Alameda County, California, and raised in New York City by his mother Dolores Shirlene Vincent and his adoptive father Irving H. Vincent, grew up in a culturally rich yet financially modest environment that would profoundly shape his worldview, artistic instincts, and relentless drive for success. And from an early age, he was surrounded by creativity, as his adoptive father worked as an acting instructor and theater manager, exposing him to the stage and storytelling long before Hollywood ever entered his life. And it was at just 7 years old that Diesel stumbled into acting almost by accident, when he and his friends broke into a theater intending to vandalize it, only to be confronted by the artistic director who instead offered them roles in a children's play, an unexpected moment that planted the seeds of a lifelong passion. Growing up in the vibrant yet challenging neighborhoods of New York, Diesel faced questions of identity, belonging, and self-definition, particularly as a biracial child navigating a society that often tried to categorize him. Yet he turned those challenges into fuel, developing a deep inner confidence and a determination to carve his own path regardless of societal expectations. And as a teenager, he worked as a bouncer in New York nightclubs, adopting the name Vin Diesel, a persona that reflected toughness, resilience, and energy, qualities that would later define his on-screen presence. While also studying creative writing and filmmaking, understanding that true control in the industry came not just from acting but from storytelling and production. Despite his passion, his early attempts to break into Hollywood were met with repeated rejection, casting directors unsure where to place him due to his ambiguous ethnicity and unconventional look, a frustration that led him to take matters into his own hands by writing, directing, producing, and starring in his own short film Multifacial, 1995, a semi-autobiographical project that explored the struggles of being an actor who didn't fit into predefined racial categories, and the film's success at the Cannes Film Festival caught the attention of industry insiders, including the legendary director Steven Spielberg, who was so impressed that he created a role for Diesel in Saving Private Ryan, 1998, marking his breakthrough into mainstream Hollywood. From there, Diesel's career gained momentum as he capitalized on his distinctive voice, commanding screen presence, and ability to portray characters defined by strength, loyalty, and emotional depth, leading to roles in films like Pitch Black, 2000, where he introduced audiences to the anti-hero Riddick, a character that would become one of his signature roles and spawn an entire franchise, demonstrating his ability to carry a film with both intensity and charisma. However, it was in 2001 that Diesel's career reached a transformative turning point with The Fast and the Furious, where he played Dominic Toretto, a street racer with a code of honor centered on family, loyalty, and respect, themes that resonated deeply with global audiences and turned the film into a cultural phenomenon. Though Diesel initially stepped away from the franchise after its first installment, he returned years later to help revive and expand it into one of the highest-grossing film franchises of all time, redefining action cinema with increasingly ambitious stunts, diverse international settings, and emotionally grounded storytelling, while also embracing his role as a producer to shape the direction of the series. Beyond Fast and Furious, Diesel showcased his versatility with roles in XXX, 2002, portraying extreme sports athlete Xander Cage, and lent his iconic voice to the beloved character Groot in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, proving that even with limited dialogue, his vocal performance could capture hearts worldwide, while continuing to develop the Riddick universe and other projects through his production company One Race Films, reflecting his entrepreneurial mindset and desire for creative control. Throughout his journey, Diesel has emphasized themes of perseverance, unity, and family, often drawing from his own life experiences and relationships, including his close bond with his late Fast and Furious co-star Paul Walker, whose tragic passing in 2013 deeply affected Diesel, both personally and professionally, leading him to honor Walker's legacy by continuing the franchise and emphasizing its emotional core. reinforcing the idea that the films are not just about cars and action but about human connection and loyalty. Despite his global fame, Diesel has remained relatively private about certain aspects of his life, including the identity of his biological father, choosing instead to focus on his role as a father and family man, values that mirror the characters he portrays on screen, and over the years he has become not just an actor but a symbol of determination, representing those who refuse to be limited by labels, stereotypes, or rejection, and his influence extends beyond entertainment into cultural identity, representation, and the power of self-belief as he continues to produce, act, and expand his creative ventures, including voice acting, gaming, and digital storytelling, all while maintaining a strong connection with his global fan base through social media and public appearances. Today, Vin Diesel stands as one of Hollywood's most recognizable and bankable stars, a man who built his career from the ground up, overcame systemic barriers, and transformed himself into a global icon whose legacy is defined not just by box office success, but by the emotional resonance of his work, the authenticity of his journey, and the enduring message that no matter where you come from, with passion, persistence, and belief, you can create your own destiny and leave a mark on the world that transcends generations.